And we're live. Back in the YouTube game. You're just gonna sit there and watch me the whole time? You can. No, actually you have to get up here in the video with me.
I do?
Yeah. Restart, I'm gonna slide in. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since we posted a video. And I want to share that information to you guys, what we have going on in the background, but unfortunately that is not going to be today's video, so you're going to have to wait. But we have some rather exciting news, and I can't wait to show you guys all that. But anyway, on today's agenda, we have a LBZ Duramax, the regular cab, a long bed truck, belongs to one of our friends, Zach Bowman's, and we are working out a deal with him. We're going to be doing some trading. We're going to pick up what we're trading for later on in this video. But truck came in with a fuel leak, and it was just the rubber lines on top of the CP3 pump were dry rotted and corroded and starting to give him enough of the leak to where he could smell it in the cab. He also wants to do he provided all this stuff for us today. He's had it for a while, just been wanting to get it put on the truck. It's a full Kryptonite front end package. We've installed several of these kits, and have to say, when it comes to quality and packaging, they knocked it out of the park. I would go to argue to say that they probably, when it comes to this line of parts, definitely have the best quality out there and the best price point. So we're going to go through everything here in a second from left to right. We also have a set of Caltrex we're going to be putting on the truck, as well as a set of cab mounts. Cab mounts on this truck are worn and starting to give him some problems. Whenever he's going over bumps, he can feel the cab shaking around and rubbing. So before we get into actually doing the installation process, we're going to go through everything real quick. So starting here, we have the upgraded tie rods and tie rod ends. These are much larger than the factory ones. These trucks are known to have tie rod issues, especially in four-wheel drive. When the axle shafts are putting torque to the front end, they will actually bend, snap. It gets real nasty. So this is kind of the permanent fix for these. The ends are greasable. They're adjustable on both ends with lock nuts. We also have a upper control arm here from Kryptonite. Just a lot beefier of a design, gives you a better angle and you know, allows for better alignment, as well as the ball joint being a bolt-in style. So a lot easier to change ball joints if you ever do have an issue. Generally, if a factory truck comes in, they need an upper ball joint, we end up having to put a whole control arm in it anyways. So this is a nice rebuildable part. Technically, it should never fail. Same here. In the top of the table, we have a center link upgraded from Kryptonite as well. This comes in the package. So just a lot larger. Should never have a failure issue with this as far as bending, which once again, I've never had one come in where the center link's bent, but it's just another upgraded part that goes in conjunction with everything else to make this front end bulletproof. We have some torsion keys over here. We'll have to swap those out. We have let's see, down here we have a new idler arm support, and pitman arm. The idler arm comes with a gusset that we will actually have to weld onto the frame. That just strengthens, you know, the rigidity of that. So that's not really a super big deal, but you do have to do a little bit of welding. Comes with all your new adjusters and casters and all that, so that way, you know, you're going back together fresh. You don't have to reuse any hardware. And then he also supplied us a set of the Bilstein shocks, and they're pretty much middle of the road shock quality wise, but I mean, I would definitely put them on my stuff. I think that they're a really good affordable option. And over here on the table we have a set of Caltrex. So these are actually going to go on the rear axle. We'll have to take the U-bolts out, and then this will go on the leaf spring itself. So we'll kind of show you guys how all that gets set up. And yeah, so the first thing we need to do is pull the tires off of this thing and start pulling all the old front end stuff off. We're going to lay it out for you guys, and we'll just kind of briefly go through everything that we take off. So we'll get you guys set up on the time lapse right now. Just like that, we have it for the most part tore down. The only thing we have left to do is cut. I say cut, you guys are probably alarmed, but the easiest way to get these pitman arms off without having to pull the gearbox off, guys, take this nut off, cut a slice in it very carefully, just until you're about all the way through it, and then it'll air hammer right off. It's a lot easier than taking the gearbox off because there's no way you can get a puller on these without taking the gearbox off. So, axle shafts are removed, press the lower ball joints out. If you don't have a ball joint tool, you need to get you one. Definitely makes a world of difference. You can get them at a parts store and rent them, but they are handy to have. Just not one of those tools you use all the time, and it's quite a big investment. But anyhow, all the stuff's pulled out, shocks, hubs, brakes, everything, and we're gonna start going back together with our new stuff after lunch. So I just wanted to, one of the main comparisons I want to show you guys is the upgrade that you're getting here with this upper control arm. The old one is pretty much non-serviceable. I don't even know if you can get an upper ball joint for these to change. I think you can, but generally, you know, standard practice is just put an upper control arm in it because these bushings are usually worn anyways. But this is a rebuildable, basically. You can change these bushings. I'm sure you can get these, you know, if you know, you put so many miles on the truck and need to replace them. And as well as the upper ball joints, they bolt in, so you can easily change those if you needed to. We're gonna go grab some lunch, and we'll be back and continue this process. We are out of gas for the welder, so we gotta go get some. Should we check and see how much wire we got, or do we have, I think I just put a new one in it. We'll be good. Something else, I don't know if, the last video, I think I owned a Mega Cab Cummins, guys, and your boy has went to the dark side and got himself a King Ranch 6-liter. This is my daily now. It's been a pretty good truck so far, hasn't it? We haven't really had to do anything to it besides high pressure oil pump, injectors, turbo, head gaskets. So not nothing serious. SCT fitting, up pipes, stand pipe. I mean, just, you know, just the small stuff. But the last time I tore it down to short block, we got about 15,000, probably 1,500 miles out of it. And we're hoping we can get about 20,000 miles out of it. It's been a pretty fun truck so far. I will say the 6-liters have a ton of power compared to the Cummins in stock, because the Cummins I had was 1 year difference from this. Had to put glow plugs in it. Had to do quite a bit to it, actually. Definitely wouldn't recommend if you don't know how to work on it yourself. It's been pretty frustrating, but we did also flash it with the, whenever you buy the head gaskets on Thoroughbred's website, in the studs, it says add tuner in the drop down, so you know we got that. We're running just the canned SCT tunes with 65 horse toe tune and trans tuning. It runs really good, so fingers crossed, guys. Hopefully we can keep this thing on the road, because it is a King Ranch truck. Interior is really nice in it. What do you think, Bailey?
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I got this truck for $3,800, what I paid for it. So we've only had to put $5 grand in it.
That's not
if we were paying in a shop to do the amount of work we've had to do to it so far, we'd probably have close to $20,000 in it, but you know, time's free, so. All right, guys, see we have a slit at an angle cut in the pitman arm. Once again, just get it pretty close without going all the way through it. And we'll shock it with an air hammer, get this guy off, and that will allow us not to remove this gearbox. Over here, we have the idler arm and bracket set up, and basically we just kind of get this set in how it's gonna go, and then we've already got this cleaned up so we can weld all the way around this. And then we'll have to paint that black because they just leave it raw because you're gonna have to weld on it. So we'll do that, try to keep it off this fresh finish here, spray paint that black. All right, guys, center link is installed. Got a bracket welded on and painted so that way you can't see my welds. Promise they'll hold. And now we have the, like I said, pitman arms on, idler arms on. All that stuff is good and tight, and we really just need to focus now on kind of assembling everything. So got that stuff out of the way. We need to drive our new lower ball joints in. I'm probably gonna start on that. Basically, we just have our adapters set up here, and we're gonna start, see if I can try and do this with one hand, probably not. Lower ball joints drove in, and Bailey's just touching up the lower control arm with some black spray paint, just to kind of clean things up a little bit. We got to put our grease zerks in, and then, like I said, once again, we'll just restart reassembling everything. If I can find a light, the torsion keys changed. They can be an absolute pain in the butt. We had a lot of problems on this one specifically because it is a regular cab truck, and there is no way to get an air hammer directly on that. But basically the way those work, the way you change these is you take that bolt out, and then you have to relieve the pressure on this key, and you take this saddle piece out. Right here where my finger's pointing, I know it's kind of, you take that out, and then you have to basically get those out of there. It's easier said than done. They get really seized in here. So after about an hour and a half, we got both those changed. And this one was real easy because we could get an air hammer right on it. This one, you can see the fuel cooler being right behind it. Makes it very difficult to get in there with anything. And they are very, very seized. Even if you have this stuff laying out on the ground, you're gonna sit there and beat on it with a sledgehammer for a while. So up in here makes it really difficult. But those are all done. So now we're officially putting it back together. There's nothing else old that we have to take off. So it's just all assembly at this point. Parts installed. Kind of show you what they look like. Got the tires back on. Get it as close as we can with a tape measure, and he will have to take it to the alignment shop and have them put it on an alignment rack. And we're gonna throw the fender wells back up in it. Why it is on lift, because we had those out when we were messing with the fuel leak. And then tomorrow, we're going to tackle those cow tracks first thing in the morning. Those shouldn't be too big of a deal. So we gotta do our rear shocks and our cow tracks in the morning. That's pretty much gonna wrap it up for today. Like I said, we got this thing close enough to where he'll be able to drive it to the alignment shop, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's gonna start chopping those tires up. So, you can see our paint's dried now on our certified weld there. It's gonna hold for sure. So, me and Bailey were able to knock that out, and between both of us, we took a 2-hour lunch. It's like 6 o'clock now. I don't know what that'd take us, 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Probably.
It wouldn't have took us near as long if we didn't have to fight those keys. But having a lift does help a lot. If you do this without a lift in the driveway, it's gonna be tough. So, yeah, don't be scared to do your own Chevy front end if you have one, or if you're in the central Indiana area and you would like, you're welcome to follow us and check out our website, dirtydomdiesel.org, and you can inquire us, message us through there, and if that's something you guys are interested in, feel free to reach out. Is it like smoky in here?
No.
It seems smoky in here.
Do we get it wrapped up?
Look at that camera. Got all of our old parts here. Show you guys how she sits. Honestly, for a tape measure and alignment, it drives really good. It tracks straight, steering wheel's just a little crooked. But let him adjust his ride height how he wants it with the keys, and he'll need to get it aligned. But that portion of the video is complete. Front end is done. So now, tomorrow, first thing in the morning, we're going to figure out a way to get this thing up on the lift, because we may even honestly have to put it on the other lift, because this one is 15,000 pound lift, and there's really not enough frame there to catch what we want if we want to do this in there, so we may have to move it over to that one. Besides that, that wraps up the front end, guys. Now the next morning, and we're gonna talk about this in a second, but we have Bailey working on the cow tracks. It's actually a little bit bigger of a job than we thought. So he's having to drop the leaf spring and press a new bushing inside of that leaf spring. We didn't realize it bolted on like that. It looks like he's got this one bolted on, and he's working on the other one. What do you think, Bailey? How hard is it to do?
They're not that bad.
They're not that bad? Did you think it was gonna be worse?
Yeah.
So you're just drilling out the old bushings and
Putting in the aluminum.
driving in the aluminum ones? and we have the Fummins pulled in here. This is Don's. We're gonna call him Don, and this is I couldn't tell you what year it is, but you guys aren't gonna be able to guess either because that's not the original core support. I think it's a 70, 78, 77. The old core support was a square headlight, but basically we took this project on several months ago, and it's starting to get where the weather's nice, so we need to get back on it and get it finished up. So anyways, it's a second generation Dodge chassis. It was a regular cab single wheel. We put a dually axle in it, and basically fabricated some mounts, some body mounts. Show you guys what these kind of look like. And got it sitting on this Dodge chassis. Everything is just kind of roughed in right now. We're hanging all the body panels back up so we can start fabricating stuff like intercooler pipes. We had to put floor pans and front cab mounts in the truck, so that was quite the job. Mason did most of that. He loved it. And right now we're trying to hang these body panels back on it. This door is never lined up good. Trying to get it to line up as good as we can, and because once we give the truck back to Don, he's going to take it to a professional body shop and have it repainted. So we're doing as little as we can. Like we had to do the floor pans. We don't normally get into that kind of work, but we had to put new floor pans in this thing because we couldn't build the bracketry to mount this thing on the truck without it. So kind of show you guys how we built that mount. Of course, it's got rust starting on it already, so that's gonna have to be addressed. And then the rear ones, I'll show you what that looks like. Nothing super crazy, just a nice simple body mount. And here in the back, like I said, we got new U-bolts and a dually Dana 80 disc brake axle, and he's gonna be putting a flatbed on this truck. Inside the truck, we have all the interior stripped out, and we removed the dash and cut out every bit of factory wiring because we're gonna redo every bit of that. We have the dash over here with some Dakota digital gauges that we're gonna be installing. So it's gonna be a really cool project when it's done. But like I said, weather's getting nice, we're jumping back on it, so there'll be more videos on this thing. Truck currently has an NV 4500 out of a Chevrolet truck, and we talked Don into swapping that to a Dodge setup, just because we can use factory Dodge drive shafts if we do that, and the transfer case is a Chevy too. And my main concern with that was, and what I was kind of telling Don was, that yoke has no slip in it, this yoke has no slip in it, so we would have to get a custom drive shaft made with a slip yoke, and that being a gas MB 4500, how long do you think it would last? Probably not very long, so it's just not worth it. Back here he has a lot of rust issues to address later on, but the truck overall looks pretty clean. This was actually his grandfather's truck, and that is his reason for wanting to use this cab rather than just get a new cab. But we've made quite a bit of progress on this truck. Get a transmission in it and basically hook up the clutch pedal. I mean, a couple small things and the thing will be able to move around, but we have to tackle this radiator and intercooler setup. Mason kind of has a game plan for that, is what we're thinking. But yeah, guys, it's just a P-pump 12-valve engine, and there's just not a lot of room there if you consider using the factory Dodge engine mounts and keeping the axle centered in that front fender. So we have limited space up front, but we'll be able to make it work. Anything is possible. And for right now, we are just basically, getting all the body panels put back on it and getting this thing lined up as good as we can, like it came apart. And then we are going to start the fabrication process of intercooler piping, exhaust. He wants to put a hood stack on it, so we're going to do that. And yeah, once we get all that stuff done, then we'll have to dive into the not so fun stuff like wiring and plumbing, fuel lines, stuff like that. So that is where we're at. I'm going to set you guys up on the time lapse, and me and Mason are going to throw this other fender on. Guys, something else I forgot to mention, which I'm really proud of, is the steering setup. I want to kind of show you guys that. So what I did is we ordered a factory brand new Dodge steering shaft through O'Reilly's for the chassis, and then I got a repair kit on, I think it was like Bronco Graveyard or something up here on this end, and we welded the end of that on the factory Dodge shaft, and it was actually perfect length. So all we had to do was buy a factory Dodge shaft, weld one end on it, and our steering is complete. Obviously we don't necessarily have it aligned right now steering wheel wise, but the thing has steering. Mason built a Hydro Boost bracket. This is, I believe this is off of a Chevrolet or an older Dodge, we don't know yet. But the Hydro Boost assembly, basically he built a mount back here, kind of show you that. It offsets it down a little bit and strengthens this firewall, because that's the problem. And that's something else we're gonna run into, is this firewall is not strong enough for a clutch pedal. So we're gonna have to build a support bracket and plate all that up real good.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.
All right guys, we're getting ready to head to pick up our trade for doing all this work on this truck. Bailey got the cow tracks wrapped up and installed, so jump out here, and we got to move one truck over to Mason's because well, I guess I can't spoil that part. Fummins that we just put all the front end parts on, we got loaded on the trailer, hooked to the 6-liter. We're gonna go get our prize, our trade, for doing all the work on that Duramax. Hell yeah. Thanks, dude. We're Mason's now. He has a little post frame building that he's kind of setting up to do his fab stuff in, and while we have some stuff going on in the background, we are not gonna be able to work on this truck at the shop we're at right now. So we moved it over here, got it hauled over here. That's why we were putting everything on it this morning, so Mason can wrap up some stuff on it and get it close to being done. But right now we're going to grab Clark, and let me tell you guys, I'm excited to get this guy named Clark. So I'm gonna hop back in the truck, go about 15 minutes down the road and pick up Clark, see if we can get Clark loaded on the gooseneck. All right guys, we're loaded down with the forklift on here, and we're gonna drive across the scales here and see what we weigh, because it is really putting a strain on the trailer. The truck's pulling it fine, obviously, because it's a 6-liter, but it's just nothing like those junky old 6.7s like Bailey drives. What's your guys' guess? My guess is 20,000 flat.
I don't know.
What do you think, Mason? 19.5. You don't want to put
18.
18. Okay, let's see. $22,700. I don't know if you guys can see that. $22,690. Jeez, she heavy. She heavy. As we just got back with the forklift, and as you guys saw going across scales, we were 22,000 pounds. So now we gotta get this thing off here and try to start figuring out, you know, what all it needs. I know the brakes are sticking on it, and something to do with this propane. Like if it sits in the cold, it seems this will freeze up and then it dies, like it's getting lack of propane. We put heat on that and it ran fine. Engine revved up fine, so we're gonna get it here in the heated shop. And it's always gonna be in a heated shop, so we'll probably never have a problem with that, but I still like to address that just to verify that it's not a problem, so. Straight down. You're good. Woo! Keep on coming. This thing is so heavy. That's the first thing we gotta address is those brakes, guys. These brakes are sticking on this thing. All right, guys, well, we've determined that the brakes are not on the front drum brakes like I thought. It's internal in the drive unit, but I'm thinking maybe that the engine's just not revving up high enough to get it moving like it should. It runs pretty poor. It acts like it's got a dead misfire in one cylinder for sure, and it just won't rev up very high, but it's actually now in our heated shop. It's 60 degrees in here now, so we're gonna check the spark plugs, and we just topped it off with coolant. It's got good motor oil in it. It's got plenty of hydraulic fluid, and we will kind of just keep going through this thing and see if we can figure it out. Well, guys, we topped her up on coolant, found a cylinder 2, we believe, misfire, and the thing will actually pull itself now pretty good. I'll demonstrate that. We're actually going to get these engines down. We need to get those down off the pallet racking, and when we put those up there, we have the skid loader, and we can no longer, we got rid of the skid loader, so now we got this thing. But she runs a lot better now. Good unit, man. Just picked up 5 mile rail, no problem. The skid steer was super sketchy to do that. We use a skid loader to put those up there to keep them out of the way. But we're going to be moving these to an undisclosed location. Not getting rid of them, but we got two good core engines here. This is actually the engine that came out of the white bait cab that I got rid of. And this is one that we changed for a customer and just needs rebuilt. But I'm pretty happy with it. Can't beat it. We traded some front end work on that Duramax and put Caltrex on it. A little bit of tinkering, and we got us a usable forklift. We don't run a forklift all the time. It's something that'll probably get like an hour a week put on it. So I can't complain.
Feel go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave.